Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. Okay, so today we're going to look at Guru Vandana, the prayers to the Guru. And so this morning, instead of doing kirtan, I'm going to play for you a short video of Prabhupada's Guru Puja. So you can watch that first and then we'll go through gradually.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sarma 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 Bandhu Savadhana Mate Bandhu Savadhana Mate Bandhu Savadhana Mate Bandhu Savadhana Jahar prasade bhai bhavatori raja prasade bhai bhavatori raja Krishna prapti ho jaha hoite 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 Padma Vakya Chit se Koreya Padma Vakya Chit se Koreya Dharana Kori Ho Mane Asha 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 Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Ye Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Ye Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Ye Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Ye Prasade Pure Sarva चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से 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 दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित हो 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 प्रेम भक्ति चाह होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेमा भक्ति चाह होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेमा भक्ति चाह होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेमा भक्ति चाह होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेद गाय जहाँ रचरी को 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 श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया महाप्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया महाप्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया महाप्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया हे बेजास सुख त्रिभुवाना हे बेजास सुख त्रिभुवाना हे बेजास सुख त्रिभुवाना महाप्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया 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 महाप्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया
Okay, so that was just an introduction. We shall start first with a brief account of how Guru Puja started. Now, I have this it came from following Srila Prabhupada tape. So it's not an official story, because it was just one devotee who remembers when it started. So around April 1974, so this is in Mumbai. Bhagavat is the devotee who gave this memory. From the morning walk, Srila Prabhupada would come up to the temple. We'd open the curtains. He'd offer his respect to the deities. We would then offer flowers to the deities and flowers to Srila Prabhupada. And that would be our morning greeting of the deities and Srila Prabhupada. On this particular morning, when we came, Srila Prabhupada was asked to sit on the Vyasasana. Then, when he sat on the Vyasasana, a full arti was offered to Srila Prabhupada. And the prayer, Sri Guru Charana Padma, was sung in glorification of Srila Prabhupada. We all went up and offered flowers to Prabhupada and offered our dandavats. Then after this, puja was done for Srila Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada greeted the deities. Then we offered respects to the deities. This was the first official Guru Puja. It happened around April of 74, if I'm correct. From that point on, it spread to all the temples in the movement. I went back to Africa, and then I told them all about this, how we are going to conduct a morning program. Similarly, the other devotees went back to their temples, and this became the standard by which we worshipped Srila Prabhupada, greeting the deities in the morning. So we'll go through these verses. Just adjust things here. Something happened since yesterday when I was checking things. Okay, so now we're going to go through these verses. So we'll go through the translation. This is a nice picture. It's not a Guru picture. It looks like an airport lounge. And so this comes from Prema Bhakti Chandrika, which is Narottam Das Thakur. It's an excerpt out of a song. It's not the full song itself. So the first verse. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bando Mui Savadana Mate Jahara Prasadai Bahai E Bhava Toriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoi Jahi Jaha Hoite. So this song is written in Bengali, so the pronunciation with the O's in it. So the word for it, please mute yourself, whoever's unmuted. So the word for word here, Sri Guru Charana Padma, the lotus feet of our spiritual master. Kevala Bhakati, pure devotional service. Sadma, the abode. Bando Mui, I bow down. Sava Dana Mate, with great care and attention. Jahara Prasade, by whose mercy? By, O my dear brothers, E Bhava, this material existence. Toriya Jai, crossing over. Krishna Prapti, obtaining Krishna. Hoi, there is. Jaha Hoite, by which. So the translation. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the abode of pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great care and attention. My dear brothers, it is through the grace of our spiritual master that we can cross over this material existence and attain Krishna. So we have Srila Prabhupada's purports on this Guru Vandana. He's going through kind of line by line. So Prabhupada says, Savadhana Mate. So this is the beginning. If you want to be a devotee, then you must approach the spiritual master who has got the power. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevale Bhakati Sadma Vando Mui Savadana Mate. Savadana means very carefully, not whimsically. So this Savadana word is also in Hindi, meaning the same thing, very carefully. So we must approach the spiritual master who has the power. So this means an authorized spiritual master in disciplic succession. We talked about that on The first class I gave on online life, we talked about how this disciplic succession was extremely important. So then the second line, Prabhupada talks about Jahara prasadai bai ebhava torya yai. Krishna prapti hoy, jaha hoite. So why should one go to a spiritual master? Because Jahara prasadai bai. My dear brother, if you get the benediction of the spiritual master, so to get the benediction of the spiritual master, there was another quote that I found, which is told by Giriraj Swami. A devotee once asked Prabhupada, "Do you love all your disciples equally?" "Yes," Srila Prabhupada replied, "but if someone comes forward for service, I reciprocate." So that's a little hint of how to get the benediction of the spiritual master. Prabhupada in his purport goes on to say, what is that benediction? The benediction is not cure my disease. He says they do not know generally, therefore they are cheated. The other day in Washington, one lady came with a backache. So she came for curing leg trouble. So everyone laughed, of course. That is going on. Why should you approach a spiritual master? There are so many doctors, hospitals. You go there. As Prabhupada replied to her. No, she replies. Here, you show me some of your miracles. People are cheating like that. Some miracles and he becomes God. He thinks he becomes God. That is going on. But the miracle of the spiritual master is Yahara Prasade Bai Ebhava Torya Yai. This is the miracle. No more material existence. So real life means one can cross over the ocean of nescience. That is the real gain, the real favor of the spiritual master. Not that I cure your leg and again walk here and there and break your leg and come back again. No. Ebhava Torya Yai. Get over material existence. This is Prabhupada being offered in Guru Puja. Text number 2. Guru Mukha Padma Vyakya Chite Te Koryarakya Arana Kuriho Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati E Se Uttama Gati Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. Guru Mukha Padma, from the lotus mouth of the spiritual master. Vakya, the words. Chitete, with your heart. Korya Aikya, making one. Ah, not anything else. Na, do not. Koriho Mane, consider in the mind. Asha, desires. Shri Guru Charane, unto the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Rati, attachment. A, this, say, that. Uttama Gati, ultimate goal. Jai Prasade, by which mercy. Pure, fulfills. Sarva Asha, all desires. The translation. Make the teachings emanating from the lotus mouth of our spiritual master one with your heart, and do not desire anything else. Attachment to his lotus feet is the best way to make spiritual advancement. His mercy fulfills all desires for spiritual perfection. So that's a translation that I found in our songbook. Is a little different from the ones that I learned when I was learning the song in the beginning. Okay. Oh, okay, I found something here from this first one. Prabhupada talks more about this first one. Let's go back here. The last line, and Prabhupada also spoke about this last line. Krishna Prapti Hoi Yaha Hoite. Krishna Prapti means to attain Krishna. So Prabhupada talks at quite length about the spiritual master is one who can give you Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sang a song, Krishna se tumare, Krishna diti para, dai tava pache pache. Krishna, I am seeking after Krishna. Vaishnav Thakur, my spiritual master, Krishna is your property. So Krishna is not independent, he is the property of the devotee. Krishna se tomara, Krishna diti para, dai tave pache pache. I am just following you, sir, because Krishna is your property. If you like, you can give him to me. Take it immediately. Prabhupada remarks, this is not flattery, it is Shastra. Vedeshu Durlabha Adurlabha Atma Bhakta. This is from Brahma Samhita. We'll be looking at some of Brahma Samhita's verse tomorrow. This one means that you cannot get Krishna even by studying all the Vedas. That's Vedeshu Durlabha. Durlabha means very difficult. Durlabha means it is not possible. Atapi te deva paraman buja prasada leshanu grahita eva. In the Srimad Bhagavatam. One who knows Krishna, he's got a little favor of Krishna, he knows Krishna Tattva. Prabhupada goes on quite some time how not to talk to those who are not qualified. He says the yogi's main business is to control the senses, and if they do not control the senses, then if the mind is agitated, where is the question of meditation? So this is a symptom by which you can know a yogi. And he says that a devotee similarly has to get rid of sense agitation. He gives an analogy for us. The senses are just like a venomous serpent, always agitating. As soon as one sense touches another sense, then finished. Spiritual life is finished. Just like if you touch a serpent, even a little bit, your life is finished. Similarly, our senses are very strong, uncontrollable. Because the snake has poison, therefore he's dangerous. But there are physicians, they can capture, Ayurvedic physicians, they can capture snakes and take away the poison for making medicine. This poison is, when the poison tooth is broken, then the snake is no longer dangerous. So like that, once we engage our senses in the service of Krishna, then they are no longer dangerous. Now let's come back. Okay, now we'll come back here. Chitete Koryar Aikya. Now this is the determination. We must approach a real guru, an empowered guru, the power of attorney. Then we can take his word. So chitete, with your heart, koryar akya, making one with your heart. Make his words one with your heart. Don't try to manufacture ideas. Take the guru's words. Then if you take seriously, your life will be successful. Don't spoil yourself by manufacturing ideas. Take word from him. Carry it out. Don't bother whether you are spiritually advanced or not. But take the word of the spiritual master and carry it. Then everything is guaranteed. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chitete Koryar Aikya, Arana Kuriho Mane Asha. Now, in relation to this attachment to the spiritual master's words, there's something from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who comments on the Bhagavad Gita verse 241. about the need in spiritual life for having one pointed attention, which is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in this, okay, this writes the. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada once told his disciples that in the 1950s, before he spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world, he read the commentary on this verse written by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He says he was struck by the commentary, which further fixed him in the resolve to follow Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's order to preach Krishna consciousness in England, in English. So this is the commentary. Okay. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, of all kinds of intelligence, the best intelligence is focused on Bhakti Yoga. In Bhakti Yoga, one's intelligence becomes single-pointed or fixed in determination. One thinks, the instructions of my spiritual master to worship the personality of Godhead by chanting, remembering, serving his feet, and so on, are my only sadhana, my only sadhya, my only livelihood. I am incapable of giving up these instructions, either in the stage of practice or in the stage of perfection. They alone are my object of desire and my only responsibility. Besides them, I can desire no other responsibility, not even in my dreams. It is the same to me whether I feel happy or unhappy, or whether my material existence is eradicated or not. So we spoke a little bit about this in Managing Online Life also, how this attachment to the spiritual master is so much important. Whether we even make success or not, we become attached to following the spiritual master. Of course, we first have to determine that qualified spiritual master, the spiritual master who can give us Krishna, and then we can follow him. And the second half of this, the second lines in this text also Srila Prabhupada commented on. Sri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttamagati. If you want advancement in spiritual consciousness, it is possible only by Sri Guru Charane Rati. It is your faith only in the... Please mute yourself. I'm not on the chat. I am not available for... I am not a co-host today, so I can't do anything. Sri Guru Charane Rati. If you want advancement in spiritual consciousness, it is possible only by Sri Guru Charane Rati. Keep your faith only on the lotus feet of your Guru. Then you'll make advancement. There is no doubt about it. Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. So Pure Sarva Asha means all desires. Pure means fulfills. Sarva Asha, all desires. We have got so many desires, but if we have got strong faith in the lotus feet of Guru, everything will be fulfilled automatically. Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. This one is a Guru Puja of Srila Prabhupada. Text number 3. Chakudan diloje janme janme prabhu se divya gyan hriday prakashito prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasa chato perigai jahara charita. Chakudan, the gift of transcendental vision. Diloje, one who has given. Janme janme, birth after birth. Prabhu say, He is my Lord. Divya Gyan, divine knowledge. Hriday, in the heart. Prakashito, is revealed. Prema Bhakti, loving devotional service. Jaha Hoite, by which. Avidya, ignorance. Vinasha Yate, is destroyed. Vede, in the Vedic scriptures, Gai is sung. Jahara Charito, whose character. Translation. He who has given us the gift of transcendental vision is our Lord, birth after birth. It is by his mercy that divine knowledge is revealed in our hearts, bestowing pure love for Krishna and destroying ignorance. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Chakudan diloje, janme janme Prabhu se. The Guru's business is chakudan. We are kept in the darkness of this material existence, and Guru's business is to open it, bring him to the light. This is the Guru, not to keep him in the darkness. Chakudan diloje, janme janme Prabhu se. Prabhu means master. So in another class, in a conversation in December 1973, Prabhupada gives an example of Chakudan diloje. You cannot see. I see. I am not a fool like you. I can see, therefore I can offer. The Guru's business is to bring him to the light. But you cannot see, so I have to open your eyes. You come to me. That is our propaganda. You are blind, you are suffering with a cataract. I shall operate and you shall see also. You have got the eyes that I say. Because you are blind, you have a cataract. I have to operate. You'll see. You come to treatment. Therefore, Shastra says, go to the Guru and be treated and try to understand. How can you see with blind eyes, cataract eye? So therefore, Chakudan diloje. He is given the gift of vision. And Divya Gyan, Hriday Prakashito. Divya Gyan is knowledge that we are all servant of Krishna and that our only business is to serve Krishna. Divya Gyan. This is Divya Gyan. It is not difficult. We have become a servant of so many things. Servant of society, servant of the community, servant of the country, servant of the wife, servant of the children, servant of the dog, and so many things. Now, let me become servant of Krishna. This is Divya Gyan. Diksha comes from Divya Gyan. That is D, and Ksha means Kshapayati, expands, Diksha. In the second half of this verse, Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avija Vinasa Jate Vedigai Jahara Charito. You have to understand this. By the mercy of Guru, by the favor of Guru, we get Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite and Avija Vinasa Jati. So there is Vidhi Bhakti. In the beginning, we have to discharge devotional service according to rules and regulations of the Shastra, the instruction of the Guru, Shastra Vidhi. Shastra Vidhim Utshrija Vartate Kamakarataha Nasidim Avapnote. In Bhagavad Gita 16:23, Krishna says, this Shastra Vidhim, the Vidhi Marg, if one gives up Shastra Vidhi and manufactures his own way, then na siddhim savapnoti, he does not get success. Na sukham, neither happiness. Na param gati, what to speak of going back home, back to Godhead. Forget all this. Shastra Vidhi, this is Vidhi Marg. When we have practiced the Vidhi Marg, then gradually we will get love of Godhead. That is the ultimate. Prema Pumarto Mahan. That means that the love of Godhead is the ultimate. And he gives us a simple example for us to understand. Just like in India, formerly, when they were very, very small, a young boy and a young girl are married. Especially the girl is only 10 or 12 years old and she's married. So what does she know about loving her husband? She knows nothing. But there is the Vidimarg. Vidimarg, the elderly people of the family, say, now just give this to your husband. Give him this refreshment. Do this to him. So she follows the instruction. In this way, gradually, when she's grown up, she does not require instruction. She knows how to serve her husband. This is prema. The beginning, there must be the regulative principle. Prema. Vidi prema. Prema bhakti jaha hoite, avijja vinasa jate. Avijja means ignorance. Unless we are freed from this nescience of material existence, there is no question of prema. Two things cannot go together. Viraktya anyatra syat. If you actually advance in Krishna consciousness, naturally you'll become averse to material enjoyment. And he quotes a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhakti parashanubhave virakti anyatra syat. Just if like you are eating, naturally your appetite will be satisfied. So Krishna Bhakti means we are automatically satisfying our desires. That is Krishna Bhakti. Vedegai Jahara Charito. It means we've got evidence from the Vedas. The Vedas are describing these qualities. Now, according to the title of this picture, this is German disciples who are offering Guru Puja. Text number 4. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Jivana Haha Prabhu Korodoya Dehu More Padachaya Ebijas Gushuk Tribhuvana. Shri Guru, O spiritual master, Karuna Sindhu, ocean of mercy, Adama Janara, of the fallen souls, Bandhu, the friend, Lokinath, O Lokanath, Lokerajivana, the life of all people, ha ha, alas, alas. Prabhu, O Master, Guru Doya, please be merciful. Dehu More, give it to me. Padachaya, the shade of your lotus feet. Ebe, no, now. Yasha, fame. Gushuk, may it be proclaimed. Tribhuvana, throughout the three worlds. O spiritual master, O ocean of mercy and friend of the fallen, O universal teacher and life of all people, alas, O master, be merciful unto us, give us the shade of your lotus feet. May your glories now be proclaimed throughout the three worlds. So Srila Prabhupada doesn't separately comment on this, but this is a very nice one. This is an example of us appealing. We talked about the prayers yesterday. Ha ha Prabhu Kurodoya. O Master, please be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Does anyone have any questions now? I've got some quotes from Srila Prabhupada about worship of the Guru, Guru Puja. But we can have some questions now if anyone has any. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, in Bombay, which temple was this started in this Guru Puja?
So this is in Juhu. This is Prabhupada's main achievement in Bombay was in Juhu.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you. So that was quite late in 1974. So we don't know exactly who suggested it, because by that time, Achyutananda and the other devotees were already researching the Gaudiya songs themselves, and they were coming to Prabhupada and saying, is this okay, and like that. So it may have been suggested by one of the other devotees to Prabhupada, and obviously he must have agreed to it. But because around that time, other devotees were researching and coming up with things that they thought might be nice for Prabhupada to introduce in the program.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Go for another picture. This is also in Juhu, I believe, on the rooftop. So some quotes from Srila Prabhupada. This is not a Guru Puja either. This is some girls performing for him. So first I'm going to quote Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja offering from 1936. So this is very soon after his initiation. But it gives some insight into the importance of the Guru. Srila Prabhupada is offering, personally, I have no hope for any direct service for the coming crores of births of the sojourn of my life, but I am confident that some day or other I shall be delivered from this mire of delusion in which I am presently so deeply sunk. Therefore, let me with all earnestness pray at the lotus feet of my Divine Master to allow me to suffer the lot for which I am destined due to my past misdoings, but to let me have this power of recollection, that I am but nothing but a tiny servant of the Almighty Absolute Godhead, realized through the unflinching mercy of my spiritual Master. Let me therefore bow down at his lotus feet with all humility at my command. In a lecture in 1977, Srila Prabhupada says, this Guru Puja is essential, just as the deity worship is essential. It is not cheap adoration. It is the process of enlightenment, of Divya Gyan. We worship the Guru because he gives us superior knowledge. Krishna consciousness is Divya Gyan, not ordinary knowledge. So we spoke yesterday about how the fact that this Guru Puja is the only time we worship anyone but Krishna while the deity's curtains are open, because this worship of the Guru is so essential and so important in our spiritual lives. Srila Prabhupada quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto. Lord Krishna himself says, Mad Bhakta Puja Bhyadika. Worship of my devotees is more important than worship of myself. Now, in the Nectar of Devotion, there are a whole list of 64 limbs, angas, of devotional service. And the first 5 are all relating to the spiritual master. This is Srila Prabhupada's translation here of this first 5 items that are mentioned by Rupa Goswami. So the general principle is that the first ones are the most important. There are another 5 important that are mentioned later on, but these 5 are very important. Srila Rupa Goswami mentions the basic principles as follows. Number 1, accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of a spiritual master. Number 2, becoming initiated by the spiritual master and learning how to discharge devotional service from him. Number 3, obeying the orders of the spiritual master with faith and devotion. Number 4, following in the footsteps of the great acharyas under the direction of the spiritual master. And number 5, inquiring from the spiritual master how to advance in Krishna consciousness. So all these 5 are to do with accepting a spiritual master, taking initiation, and obeying his orders, following his footsteps of the acharyas under his guidance, and inquiring from him. So establishing a very firm relationship with the spiritual master, because he and he alone is the only way we can get to Krishna. And Prabhupada says in other places, you cannot get to Krishna by yourself. You cannot jump over the spiritual master, even and approach previous spiritual masters, without the direction of your spiritual master. Now there's a very nice verse in the third canto, which is Lord Kapila's teachings to his mother Devahuti, which talks about several things, but especially the spiritual master and the acharyas. Mahatam bahumanena dinanam anukampaya maitrya chaivatma tulyeshu yamena niyamena cha. The pure devotee should execute devotional service by giving the greatest respect to the spiritual master and the acharyas. He should be compassionate to the poor and make friendships with persons who are his equals. But all his activities should be executed under the regulation and control of the senses, and under regulation and with control of the senses. So just a little bit in the purport also about the worship of the Guru. In the Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, it is clearly stated that one should execute devotional service and advance on the path of spiritual knowledge by accepting the acharya. Acharyo pasanam. One should worship the acharya, the spiritual master, who knows things as they are. The spiritual master must be in disciplic succession from Krishna. The predecessors of the spiritual master are his spiritual master, his grand spiritual master, his great-grand spiritual master, and so on, who formed the disciplic succession of acharyas. It is recommended herewith that all the acharyas are given the highest respect. It is stated, Gurushu Nara Matihi. Gurushu means unto the acharyas, and Naraha Matihi means thinking like a common man. To think of the Vaishnavas, the devotees, as belonging to a particular caste or community, to think of the acharyas as ordinary men, or to think of the deity in the temple as being made of stone, wood, and metal, is condemned. Niyamena, one should offer great respect to the acharyas, according to the standard regulations. Now, does anyone have any questions or comments in relation to that? We're going to go on to Srila Prabhupada's Prana Mantras, which talk more about the special qualities of Prabhupada and the spiritual master. But we can stop here again for comments and questions if anyone has anything to say or ask. Okay, so let's go on with this. You may get this everywhere else, probably at least in your memorization, and you probably know it already, but there's a few points that I just want to bring out on it. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prestaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta, Swamin Iti Namana. Namaha, obeisances, Om, address, Vishnu Padaya, unto him who is at the feet of Lord Vishnu. Krishna Prestaya, who is very dear to Lord Vishnu. Bhutale, on the earth. Srimate, all beautiful. Bhaktivedanta Swami, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Iti, thus, Namane. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna on this earth, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. So this first prana mantra, which is called pranati, is very similar when you take a guru who's a disciple or grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada. You'll have also a very similar prana mantra, just with the name changed. So a significant thing, Vishnu Padaya, who is at the lotus feet of Vishnu, and Krishna Preshtaya. So I was listening to the Bhagavatam class last week, and one devotee nicely explained, it was one of Prabhupada's disciples, I don't remember which one, that Krishna Prestaya, because the spiritual master is very dear to Lord Krishna, that the spiritual master is especially sent to you by Krishna. Krishna is the one who's arranging the spiritual master to come and be merciful, because the spiritual master is a very dear friend of Krishna. Now, one thing that's also very important is in the ISKCON law book, it's a law book, it's important for us, not just because it's a law, but it's very important for us as part of remembering Srila Prabhupada's positions in ISKCON as our preeminent Siksha Guru. There is this regulation here which talks about when you join ISKCON, you should chant at least the first of Prabhupada's pranam mantras, which is this one. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namani. So this rule is worded like this. After chanting the pranam mantra of the Diksha Guru, all grand disciples and future generations should chant at least the first of Srila Prabhupada's pranam mantras while offering obeisances as a means of respecting the founder Acharya. So this means generally every time we enter a temple or every time we pay obeisances to the deities, we offer pranam mantras. Now, I was taught to offer pranam mantra to my guru, pranam mantra to Prabhupada, and then Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauda Bhaktivinoda, and Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare. So I was taught to offer all of these prayers upon paying obeisances, not just that we put our head to the ground and immediately come up and we might say Namo Vishnu Padaya and then get up straight away again. We should be respectfully remembering our Guru and also Srila Prabhupada, and the fact that he belongs to the Guru Parampara, who will take us to Gaunitai, by whom we can get to Krishna. Without them we can't. The second of these verses, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesa Shunyavari, Pastyatya Deshatarine. Namaha, obeisances, Te unto you, Saraswati Devi, servant of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, Gauravani, the message of Lord Chaitanya, Pracharine, who are teaching, who are preaching, Nirvishesha, from impersonalism, Shunyavadi, from voidism, Paschatya, Western, Desha, countries, Tarane, who are delivering. Our respectful obeisances unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Dev and delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. So just before we go on to the commentary, just a note on pronunciation is Sarasvati Deve, which means unto Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. It's not Sarasvati Devi. That would be unto the goddess Sarasvati. So this is important. We've got an explanation of that from the Founder Acharya book. So this second pranam mantra, some of you will take diksha from gurus who have another second pranam mantra of their own, and some of you will not. In the past, generally the guru's disciples who were expert in Sanskrit would write pranam mantras. Like, for example, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has 3 pranam mantras. Obviously, he had 3 prominent disciples who wrote pranam mantras for him. In addition to that first one, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Iti Namani Sri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaya Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayata Prabhave Namaha. No, I can't remember what it's just now. It's not with me. So he's got 3 prana mantras attached to his first one. But Prabhupada, establishing ISKCON, he found that it was necessary to establish a position as founder Acharya. So I'm going to read this from Founder Acharya book. During the same period, around 1971, Srila Prabhupada complied with a request from some disciples to be able to honor him with a special or personal pranam mantra. It would normally fall to a competent disciple to compose such a mantra in his Gurudev's honor. Since at that time no disciple of Srila Prabhupada was sufficiently qualified spiritually and linguistically to do so, Prabhupada was placed in the awkward position of coming up with a mantra himself. As a result, we have been given Srila Prabhupada's own representation of himself, how he thought of himself, and how he wants us to remember him as we daily invoke his presence. So we can remember that this second prana mantra is how Prabhupada wants us to remember him. Prabhupada's prana mantra recommends us him as being the one who spreads pracharana, Lord Chaitanya's teachings, Gauravani, to the west, Paschatya Desh. So this achievement is not just his own initiative. It is started from the Gaudiya Math, which tried to go to Europe even in 1933, but nothing further happened. So if that had happened, it's written by Ravinder Swarup, had that position been secured, particularly by the construction of the London Temple, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would have gone to the West himself. Circumstantially, his intent seems to be frustrated. Even so, he had a faithful devotee, Sarasvata, who fulfilled his desires. So Sarasvata, it means he is the servant of Saraswati Devi, Saraswati Maharaj. So this is a very important word, this Sarasvati, because it's how Prabhupada wants us to remember him. Ravinder Swarup this includes Prabhupada's own words. Sarasvata is the name in this verse by which Prabhupada wishes to be remembered, his name in relation to the spiritual master. Sarasvata is his patronymic name, means the son or disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Prabhupada explains in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 1084 purport, as members of the Krishna consciousness movement, we belong to the family or disciplic succession of Sarasvati Goswami, and thus we are known as Sarasvatas. Obeisances are therefore offered to the spiritual master as Sarasvati Deva, or a member of the Sarasvati family. So he's saying Sarasvata Deva, and to come to making it to offering to Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati's disciple, we turn the A into an E. So Sarasvati Deve, which means unto the disciple of Sarasvati. So in this way, this Saraswati Devi is very dear to Srila Prabhupada because it indicates his guru's name. And that's how we would all like to be remembered, as a sincere follower of our guru. Anyone have any comments or questions about this? I have one more small section after this to do, but this on Guru Tattva or any of these prayers we've covered so far, or any questions or comments, you can unmute and ask. This picture is somewhere in America. Okay, so if nobody has anything they want to say just now, the one thing that I've added into this class today, which is not exactly about Guru, but it's about the Vaishnavas, is this Vaishnava Pranam. So we talk a little bit about this. There's a purport on Vaishnava Pranam as well. Because the Guru, of course, is the Vaishnava. For us, he's a very dear Vaishnava. So we just want to introduce this one. Vancha kapatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyaha, who are desire trees, cha and kripa of mercy, sindhubhyaha, who are the oceans, eva, certainly, cha and patitanam, of the fallen souls, pavanebhyaha, who are the purifiers, Vaishnavebhyaha, unto the Vaishnavas, namaha namaha, repeated obeisances. And so you'll notice one thing common you'll notice here is this abhyaha at the end, which is basically a plural form, ending form. So we're offering our obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just like desire trees who can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. So the etiquette Srila Prabhupada established was that every time we see a Vaishnava, we offer pranams to them. But it became a little simplified later on that after our morning program, we offer pranams to all the Vaishnavas who are in the temple. So this Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha paritanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha has been something we do. It sometimes can become a little ritualized, but we don't want it to become ritualized. It's very important that we see the mercy of the Vaishnava. Oh, okay, here it is. So Srila Prabhupada talks about the mercy of the Vaishnavas. So if you take care of Krishna, then you'll do the best service for all others automatically. You see these boys, they're going out with the Sankirtan party. Because they are Krishna consciousness, it is not that they're sitting idly in the temple. They are going outside preaching this philosophy so that others may take advantage of it. So a Krishna conscious person cannot sit idly. He thinks that such a nice philosophy of life, why should it not be distributed? That is his mission. A yogi may be satisfied with his own elevation, sitting in a secluded place, practicing yoga, elevating himself to transcendental life. That is a personal concern, but a devotee is not satisfied simply elevating himself. We offer respects to the Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vaishnava is he, a devotee is he who is very compassionate to these conditioned souls. Kripa sindhubhya evacha. Kripa means mercy, and sindhu means ocean. A devotee is an ocean of mercy. He wants to distribute that mercy. So Prabhupada again gives the example of Lord Jesus Christ, because Prabhupada is making the point that this Krishna consciousness is for everybody. He was God conscious, Krishna conscious, but he was not satisfied in himself. He could have continued in his God consciousness alone, and he would not have been killed. But no, he wanted to take care of others also. The others should be God conscious. Others should be Krishna consciousness. He was forbidden by the ruler not to do that. At the risk of his life, he did it. This is the nature of the devotee. Therefore, the preacher devotee is the dearmost disciple of the Lord. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita. They are going outside, they are preaching, meeting with opposing elements. Sometimes they are defeated, sometimes disappointed, sometimes able to convince. There are different kinds of people. So not that every devotee is very well equipped. There are 3 classes of devotees also. But one must have that endeavor, that I shall go and preach Krishna consciousness. That is the best service to the Lord, because they are trying against opposition to elevate people to the highest standard of self-realization. So one who has seen, who is self-realized, he cannot sit idly. He must come out. Just like Ramanujacharya, he declared the mantra publicly. His spiritual master said that this mantra is private mantra. He said, just like Maharishi came to your country. He's speaking in Los Angeles in 1969. Just like Maharishi came to your country, he wanted to give some private mantra. If that mantra has any power, why should it be private? If at all the mantra has any power, why should it not be publicly declared so that everyone can take advantage of that mantra? This is real. So Ramanujacharya, he was given a mantra by his guru and told that the mantra had the power to deliver people from the cycle of birth and death. And he was told to keep it secret. But he went to the town square, got up on a building and declared it publicly to everyone. And his guru got very angry with him. But Ramanuja simply said, if it's got the power to deliver people, why should we not deliver them? This is a famous picture from Srila Prabhupada from one of the Rath Yatras. Does anyone have any comments or questions about today's class?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Please carry forward.
Ivani, go ahead.
Mataji, I was telling that everything was clear for me. Can you please carry forward, Mataji?
Sorry, please repeat.
No,
Well,
it was...
Mataji, I just wanted to comment about the class and say thank you very much for your explanation. It was very nice. It has, I'm sure, it's the way it's helped me open my eyes. I'm sure it has done the same for everybody else. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a very nice class.
Thank you very much. Shivani, what did you say? I'm sorry, I missed it.
You know, Mataji, the amount of research you must have done for all the quotes and all. You've taken so much pains for us, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you very much. Now, I have anyone else anything else to say? I have one more meditation on Srila Prabhupada for everybody. If you have nothing else to say, we'll go on with that. I have another short movie, which is actually a physical Guru Puja with Srila Prabhupada here present. Okay, so thank you very much. So, Prabhupada, you can see is smiling. So it's not that he's enjoying people that are worshipping him, but he's passing on this worship to the spiritual master, because as Prabhupada would always repeat, that anything that he's done is only by the mercy of a spiritual master. And the only credit he would take was that he sincerely tried to follow out his spiritual master's orders. And of course, the spiritual master is always pleased when he sees his disciples advancing and becoming enthusiastic in devotional service. Any last comments or questions? I'll let you have a break before your next class. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be looking at Krishna Tattva. We've got the Govindam prayers as well as Jai Radha Madhava. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much for the enlightening class, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Lavangalata Mataji ki jai.
Thank you. You're very kind. Hare Krishna.